Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Bhavna Joshi and I will be taking the subject creating an inclusive school. So in this subject today we will be discussing about the historical development and the philosophical and social basis of inclusive education. This topic is in your unit 1 of creating an inclusive school, B.Ed 218. So let's start. We have already studied about the definition of inclusive education, its need, its importance, its principles. So today we will be studying about the historical development. So before inclusion, as you can see on your screen, before inclusion, there were three main stages after which the inclusion came. So it's all started with the exclusion phase, that is the phase one. Exclusion phase was when all the children who were children with special needs, who were coming from different background, were segregated totally and they were not included in the education process. They were denied education, they were denied equal rights in the society. So that was the time when they were totally excluded, or you can say social exclusion was there. That was the first stage, that is exclusion. Then after the exclusion, it came, the next stage which came was segregation. Segregation means these children, that means children with special needs or the children who are coming from different background, they were segregated on various bases, like on the basis of caste, on the basis of gender, on the basis of disability. So these students were designated with a different school totally meant for these kind of children, and so-called normal schools or children who were coming from a good financial background were segregated in another school. So it was a segregation stage when these group of students were segregated to a different school, totally different school, or you can say so-called special schools were opened at this phase, and these children with special needs got admission in those special schools. Next stage, the third stage came was the stage of integration. Integration means it was the stage when these children, children with special needs, were allowed in the school, but on one condition, that the school will not change as per the need of the child, that is child with special need. It is the child who has to change as per the circumstances of the school, which means that if a child is physically challenged, he or she cannot climb the stairs, it is the problem of the child that how the child will come to the class. It is not the responsibility of the school to build a ramp or to have lift facility. So that was integration. Integration was, you can say that when so-called normal school said that you can come to our schools, you are welcome, but we will not change as per the need, as per your need. It is you who have to change as per our circumstances. Then next last stage, which after integration came, was inclusion, because in all the other stages, the segregation stage or integration stage, it was seen that the motto of education for all was not fulfilled in these stages. So then came the stage of inclusion. Inclusion, as you can see in the on your screen, that now each and every child is equal, and whether the child is having special need or is coming from a specific caste background, economically lower section, below poverty line, or specifically girl child, they all got admission in normal school, so-called normal school, and not even a single school can reject their admission on whatever basis. So this is the inclusion stage. So before inclusion, there were three main stages. I hope with the help of the diagram you can see. So exclusion occurs when the student are directly or indirectly prevented or denied access. This is the social exclusion which we studied in the last lecture, that is the marginalization. Intentionally they were excluded from the society. Next stage was segregation stage, which occurs when the education of the students with disabilities is provided in a special environment, a separate environment, which which was designed as per the condition of the children. Then the third is the integration stage, which is a process of placing the person with disabilities in the existing mainstream educational institutions, as long as the former can adjust. That means it is as long as the child can adjust to the standard requirement of the institution, then till that time it is perfectly fine. But if the school will not change as per the need of the child. And last is the inclusion. Inclusion is the process of systematic reform, embodying changes and modification in content, that is teaching their method, approaches, structures, strategies in education to overcome all the barriers. That means whatever barrier was there in attaining the goal of education for all, whatever barrier was there, all those barriers were removed. As in inclusion, we have studied that there is curriculum flexibility, the teaching method is as per the requirement of the child, the approach, the structure, the infrastructure, everything is as per the need of the child. So in inclusion, the school will have to change as per the need of the child. So this is the historical development of inclusion. Now, it is very important to know the difference between integrated and inclusive education, because maybe you can get confused, because both the terms are a little bit same, but there is a lot of difference between the both. Integrated education aims in not integrating all the children who are away from education. It is not a broad concept. You are not integrated education does not follow education for all, that no matter what, but every child will get the education, will get the admission. That was not the motto of integrated education. So all children who were away from the education were not included in this. So it is it is not a very broad concept, it is a narrow concept. Whereas in inclusive education, all the children who are away from the education are included in it. Like, it is not specifically for children with special needs only, but the children who are coming from different caste, minority group, who are coming from lower economical background, poverty, below poverty line, or specifically gender issue like girl child education. So every child was included in inclusive education. So it is a broader concept as compared to integrated education. When children with special some disability are integrated in normal school only, that means some specific disability they can come. Like in integrated schools, the autistic children or mentally challenged children were not entertained in the integrated education, whereas in inclusive education, children with some disability are included in normal, but with some special facilities for them. Special facilities were included in it. And now also you can see that in all the schools, whether the child is autistic or visually challenged, or there is a hearing challenged problem, or physically challenged, every child is included in inclusive school. So no formal planning is required in integrated school, because school is not changing as per the need of the child. So whereas in inclusive school, because the school infrastructure, teachers, the methods, the curriculum, everything has to change. So formal planning is required in inclusive education. Next is no special infrastructure or trained staff or special curriculum is required in the integrated education, because as we discussed, school is not changing. Whereas in inclusive education, school is changing as per the need of the child. So, special ramps or special infrastructure facility, trained staff, special curriculum, everything was designed. Then next, integrated education. In integrated education, all the students away from the education are not necessarily included in the mainstream school. Whereas in inclusive education, all the children are included in the mainstream school. So this is the difference between the integrated and the inclusive education. So this was the historical development of inclusive education. Now coming to the philosophical basis. So on what philosophy the inclusive education came into being? The first and foremost philosophy of that is to promote humanism, to promote humanity, that every person is equal. No two individuals are different. That means you cannot deny the rights, the resources to a specific person or a specific group. So the first philosophical basis on which the inclusive education come into being was to promote humanism, to promote humanity. Next is each human is unique. Every human being is unique. Every human being has its own good thing in which the child is good. So have every human being, every human has their unique ability and capability to do one thing. It is not that if one is not good in one thing, it will he or she will not be good in another thing. So every human is unique. It is only us who has to recognize the hidden talent or hidden capability in the child. Third point is diversity possesses its own value and should be respected. Yes, the philosophy behind inclusive education was diversity, as we have discussed in the first lecture also, that inclusive education is about celebrating diversity. So we should recognize and we should celebrate the fact that every individual is different. So the philosophy behind inclusive education is diversity possesses its own value and should be respected, whereas it is not that they should be intentionally denied or excluded from the society, but the diversity should be respected. Next is all human beings deserve quality of life. Each and every human being deserves quality of life, no matter from what disability the person is suffering from. Next is believes in abilities and developing capacities. So the philosophical basis says that inclusive education believes in the abilities of the child and aims in developing the capability, whatever the hidden talent the child have, it aims at developing the capability of the child. Next is lead life on the principle of justice and equality. So, inclusive education is based on the principle of justice as well as equality. And last is raise voice against discrimination and oppression. Any any discrimination which is done on the basis of the parameters of inclusive education, that should be raised and that should be looked upon. After the philosophical basis, there comes the social basis of inclusive education. Now, social basis. What is the social basis? Social basis ensures the fundamental right, that is right to equality. Every child is unique and every child has the right as per our constitution to get education. That is the fundamental right. So ensuring in a society that every individual should get education, ensuring equal right to get education for all. Every individual has the equal right to get education for all in school for all. Third is provide equal educational opportunities to make their life comfortable. So why we are giving the education opportunities, equal opportunities? Because we want to make their life comfortable. After attaining that education, they are able to earn their living. That is the motto of our education. So that is the another social basis. Next is welcoming and understanding the concept of individual differences. The as I said earlier, that diversity is something we should celebrate, we should be happy, we should enrich it. Same is this, that the individual differences, that every individual is different from the other, should be welcomed, should be understood. Then ensuring overall development of differently able children. As a teacher, as a administrator, You need to ensure that all development, or there has to be overall development of the differently able children, and that is the social basis of the inclusive education. Last is motivating family, the society, school, at work for the upliftment of differently able children is very important. It is very important. The social basis is related to the society. So it is very important to motivate the family of the child also, the society around also, and the school taking the child's admission to motivate each and every person that we have to work towards the upliftment of differently able children, and they have those capabilities that they can do good in their lives and they can earn their living, they can live independently. So that is what we need to motivate the family, the society, and the school at work also. So these are the social basis of inclusive education. So I hope you all understood about the historical development, the philosophical basis, and the social basis of inclusive education. Thank you very much.